Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Floodlights Camera Action. From Michael Fassbender to Michael Owen, we look to bridge the gap between film and football and tell you exactly what films you should be watching and what ones to avoid. I'm Jack, but a podcast is only as good as its co-host, so every week I'm joined by my good friend Weronika to work through the do's and don'ts of film watching. Weronika, how are you?
I'm good. I see you've changed up the intro. I can talk about that.
You a fan?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I still kept the
4 stars.
from X to Y. Yeah, I mean 4 stars is good, and I mean, it was slightly misleading because we stopped talking about football because we both got bored with it. So
Yeah,
I can't mislead the audience, but apart from that, you all alright? You all good?
yeah. I mean, we've been quite busy recently, so there was no episode last week. But that's what happens when you're
Successful.
job full.
Oh yeah. Successful or just fucking busy. There's no middle ground.
Yeah,
And we'll let the
we're
audience
both.
decide which one.
So
Yeah, we'll let the audience decide which one those is. But yeah, the busyness does not stop. I'm in Rome next week. Sort of. No, I am in Rome, but not all
you're
of next week.
fighting in the Colosseum for the Gladiator 2 promo.
Well, I will be
We're
in
sponsored.
the Colosseum. Yeah, sponsored
We've
by
been
Big.
sponsored actually. Jack is fighting
Yes.
Pedro Pascal next week in
Yeah,
Rome.
then we're just gonna kiss at the end.
Yeah,
May as well, when in Rome. Oh,
good one.
yeah, thank you. Anyway, what have you? The way this episode's going to work is similar to the last couple of weeks. We'll basically just talk about what we've been watching over the last few weeks and tell you exactly what you should be watching and not watching. And then we got, for the first time in a long time, a fucking chunky physical media update, a bit of film news, and then some Christmas market chat. So who knows how that's going to go? But Veronica, can you kick us off with what have you been watching over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, so I'll start with the 31st of November. No, October.
No, that's in the future.
Halloween. It was Halloween. So I had to watch a horror film. I watched Happy Death Day. I rewatched Happy Death Day, which is such a fun slasher film. I think you would like it as well because it's
I need
not
to
that
watch it, really.
scary.
Yeah, because I'm a pussy. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. I gave it 4 stars again, which, like, listen, okay, for a film like this, I know it's too high, but, like, because I enjoy it so much, I just don't care. I don't want to compare it to the other films I gave 4 stars to.
I can one up you on that in my segment, so don't feel too bad about yourself.
Okay, good. But the film is basically it's just like a really fun concept. It's a uni student, and she gets killed by a serial killer in a baby mask, and then she wakes up at the beginning of the day, and then she gets killed again, and then she wakes up at the beginning of the same day, etc., etc. So it's basically like Groundhog Day, but she has to find the killer because then if he stops killing her, she thinks that she can move on to the next day. Which I thought it was a really fun concept, which is why I watched it the first time, and it like is really well executed, in my opinion anyway. I think it's quite funny, and the kills are interesting. It's not just the same shit every time. The lead character is played by Jessica Roth, who I've mentioned before that I really like, but she just doesn't get enough work. And fun fact, she was one of the like Emma Stone roommates at the beginning of La La Land in the musical number where
Which colour dress was she wearing? Do you know?
I want to say blue or yellow. I'm gonna go with blue because I think Emma Stone wears yellow.
I can't actually see.
We
Right.
don't have a producer to check that, so
Potentially-
let's just
no,
assume
right.
I'm
Can you
correct.
lock in a final guess? Because I think I've seen
Okay, I'm
it.
gonna say blue, and she's the blonde one.
No, Emma Stone wore the blue dress. She wore a
Fuck!
green dress.
I can't believe I got that wrong. That
Okay.
makes me really upset.
Yeah. Do better, I'd say.
Oh. Alright. Next time I watch a film with one of those Emma Stone roommates, I'll get it right. But anyway, next film. So I recommend Happy Death Day, just to clarify. Next film I watched, I can't remember when. It was a film that I haven't seen anyone talk about, and it just released, but it was only in like a few independent cinemas, not like at Odeon or Cineworld or whatever. And I've never heard of it. I just looked at Prince Charles Cinema listings, and I don't know. I just clicked the first film I saw, to be honest. And it's called The Last Stop in Yuma County. I don't know anyone who's watched this film.
I've
I
never
gave
never
it
even heard of it.
Yeah, me neither until I watched it. Like I have no idea what it was about or who was in it. I gave it 3.5 stars. I did like it. It was my first time at Prince Charles Cinema. And I know like a lot of people rave about how nice it is in there, and the films that they show are like, older films and newer films that maybe aren't shown as much at your Odeon or cinema, which is a very cool concept. Yeah, the seats were comfortable, the screen was nice. I recommend it if anyone's in London, and I'll probably be back again soon. They should sponsor me as well, or something like that. Give me some free tickets. But anyway, the film, like I said, I didn't know anything about it. It's directed by a guy called Francis Galuppi,
Fantastic name. Fantastic name
and
for a
the
director.
main lead stars Jim Cummings. Another good name.
Let's not comment on that name.
Uh, yeah,
We're
let's
better than
not.
that.
Let's
We're
move
better than that.
on. But this guy, right? I don't know if you can Google him, Jack Jim Cummings. He has that face where I was watching it, and I was so sure I've seen him somewhere before in like a
Yeah.
a cast as a side character or something. Then I
Look
looked
at
up
his
his
face now.
previous roles, and I haven't seen any of them. So I don't know. He has a forgettable face, I guess, because you
He's
think
in
you've
a
seen him.
he's in Halloween Kills. I've not seen that. I've not seen any of
No,
his
I haven't
films.
seen
He's
that.
also, funnily enough, directed 22 films.
Oh wow.
He
Okay.
starred in 24, directed in 22.
So he's
Written.
very talented.
He's actually just like does everything. He's composed, he's edited, he's produced, he's directed, he's acted, he's done additional photography for one film. You know, he's just got a jack of
He
all
should
trades.
come on the podcast.
He should, yeah, yeah, good, yeah.
Seems really interesting. Someone email him, and don't stop telling him to come on the podcast until he does.
Yeah, no
Okay,
pressure,
don't do
Jim.
that.
We'll do. It's not our fault if it happens.
Well, anyway, so he's in the film, and it's about his character stopping at a petrol station in the middle of nowhere. Some would say it was the last stop in Yuma County, because it was. And the petrol has run out at the station, so he has to wait for the next fuel truck, and he has to wait at the diner because there's nowhere else to wait. And then he's just sitting at the diner, and there's like these interesting random side characters who join him at the diner because they're all there for the same reason, stopping for petrol, and then there's no petrol. And then two of them are bank robbers, and they just finished a heist, so loads of chaos ensues and shenanigans and whatever. But it's not, like really predictable and stuff. There is towards the end it gets a little bit crazy and off the rails in terms of narrative structure, and I don't think you expect what happens to happen. So it is quite fun. I enjoyed watching it at the cinema, yeah. I recommend it. I don't know if it's going to be out anywhere because I never heard of it before. But I would recommend if it is to watch. And then the last thing I want to talk about is not a film. I
You're
just want to mention
ruining the
something.
podcast. Wow, you've thrown out the structure. It's
Yeah,
all gone to shit.
I just want to mention something that I've seen recently because I think it's really funny. So I found out that there's a podcast called you're gonna hate this bit. There's a podcast called Talking Talk Tour.
Why?
Okay,
Can I just stop you for a second, just for a brief second? Why are you bringing brain rot onto this podcast? We hold ourselves to a better standard than whatever the fuck they've got going on. We're better than
we
that.
don't, but you
We
don't get
should. No,
it right. Let me
yeah, all
explain.
right. We might not, but we should.
Let me explain why it's funny. Okay, let me explain. So basically, it's these two guys, and they like do this analysis breakdown of every episode of the Talk to a podcast in their own podcast. So it's kind of like football analysis breakdown of Talk Tour. Like they'll play a clip and then they'll go, okay, pause it right there. So you see what this guest said there, completely juxtaposed what happened earlier, and Chelsea got the brunt of this joke, which caused Haley to only give a slight change in facial expression, and this signifies a distrust in the system or whatever. Like, it's
Okay,
just
right.
so
I have a
stupid.
follow-up question to make this podcast somewhat footbally. If you could take two football pundits and have them host the Talking About Talk, whatever the fuck it's called, podcast, which two football pundits would you choose? One of them, by the way, is absolutely Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You need someone a bit. You need someone who's like a completely different. Okay,
Sturridge.
Micah Richards. He would love it.
Yeah, I
You
would.
know, he probably listens to Talk to Her.
No, he doesn't. He
He
absolutely does
definitely
not.
does.
I would go like Roy Keane and Daniel Sturridge purely because I want to see more of that dynamic play out.
I bet Mike Richards listened to the latest episode and he was like so shocked that they revealed who Pookie was because that was a big reveal.
I thought you meant Timu.
Oh no.
They revealed who Finnish striker Timu Pukki is. Anyway,
Yeah, well,
any more
that's
comments
my
on?
films and a
Okay.
little bit done. You can
Oh,
talk, we can
right.
review yours.
Let's speed run this shit. My first batch of 4. By the way, I should clarify. I watched no bad films in the last couple of weeks. I watched 11. None of them were bad. So we're cooking on gas. First one I watched on the 31st of October, Halloween, scary day for some. I watched a film called Coyote Ugly. Now, this is basically a bit of a chick flick about a girl that wants to become a singer, but she goes to work in a really, I don't know, rambunctious bar in New York. And it's really cheesy. It's really fun. There's loads of women who I fell in love with immediately. And John Goodman's in it. John Goodman was one of my favorite actors. He's great. Um, I gave it a 4 out of 5. This is not a 4 out of 5 film, but it was a 4 out of 5 experience, much like Happy Death Day. Um, the only issue I had was A, the film. B, the ending was really abrupt. It just kind of happened. I was like, oh, okay. I needed like 15 more minutes of ugly coyotes. Next up, I completed.
Wait,
Gone.
I just realised when you walk in London through like the West End, like when I walk to the Picture House,
Mm,
there's this big bar called Coyote Ugly, and I now
yeah,
realise that it's because of that film.
I'm pretty sure there's one in Liverpool as well. I think
And then like
on.
they always have these like pictures of women in bikinis wearing cowboy hats trying to
Yeah,
entice you to come in. And I'm
that's
always
basically the whole
very
film.
close to going in. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
watch it.
So it does
Honestly,
work.
watch the film. You'd love it.
Okay.
Next up is Glass. This is the third part of the M. Night Shyamalan trilogy. I actually have it ranked same score as Split, but I have it just above it. Um, I think it really, really worked for me. A lot of people slagged the film off. I actually really enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Not as good as Unbreakable, obviously, because Unbreakable's brilliant. Um, but yeah, James McAvoy is great. Uh, I love the third act. I think the reveals really worked. My biggest issue was that the character of David Dunn was awfully underwritten and underutilized. It kind of felt like M. Night wanted to do a film about Mr. Glass and James McAvoy's character, but he was like, yeah, I'm going to have to include it in the universe with um, Bruce Willis. And yeah, he's kind of like tagged along. Didn't really work in that regard, but really good film. Next up, I watched a classic. I watched Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Apologies for my nasally tone. I've still got this illness. Um, I have it at 4.5 out of 5, equal to the OG. I don't think it's better than the OG. I think it's slightly too long, maybe 10, 15 minutes too long. So take that 10, 15 minutes off and give it to Coyote Ugly, and you got 2 great films. It was just awesome, really well shot. The VFX was great. I loved the body horror as always. Not as much as the first film, but it still really worked. Arnie was really funny. Sarah Connor was a badass. So that's great. I see why people love it so much. And the next film I watched was also a 4.5 out of 5. It was True Romance, starring Christian Slater, Rosanna. I think it was Rosanna. It was either Rosanna or Patricia Arquette, and directed by Tony Scott, who did Top Gun, and written by Quentin Tarantino. And this film's got such a brilliant blend of like Tarantino's razor sharp writing with Tony Scott's super stylish direction. Like, there's obviously a famous sex scene in Top Gun where everything is blue and everyone's necking, and Tony Scott basically does the exact same thing in True Romance, and it just works. There's a great scene with Dennis Hopper, who's in Blue Velvet, and Christopher Walken, who's in everything. That was very tense, very funny, but not funny, just kind of awkward. Um, just full of great performances. Christian Slater was weird but great. Gary Oldman plays a Rastafarian drug dealer or pimp. I can't remember. That was a bit weird. Um, but James Gandolfini is also in it, who obviously played Tony Soprano. Not seen The Sopranos, but he's great. My only real issue um, was the score. It was awful. It's the most irritating film score I've ever seen, or heard rather. It was just like so tonally mismatched and misplaced. It didn't work for me. But apart from that, yeah, four very good films. Veronica, what is next on your agenda?
Yeah, my next second part of what I watched. So, I went to the BFI IMAX to watch The Substance in
You're welcome, by
IMAX.
the way.
Jack got me a ticket because I was at work, and he got me the best ticket in the house, right in the middle. And I've never been there, and it's actually massive. They've also turned like the outside of it into a coliseum
I
for
saw
the
that.
Gladiator 2. Yeah, I saw it in person. It's really cool. Um, and the stuff were really nice. Coffee there actually wasn't that expensive, which I was surprised because you'd think everything there would be like double the price of a normal cinema. But actually, it's not that bad. Um, the seats are really comfortable. The screen is obviously incredible. And I also listen. I don't want to brag, but I'm the whole reason that the substance was even shown in IMAX at the cinema. Okay, because I tweeted BFI a few weeks ago and I said, "When is the substance coming to IMAX?" And they replied saying, "Oh, they don't have any plans to do it, but you can watch it at BFI South Bank." And then guess what? Like 2 weeks afterwards, they sent an email out saying, "We're showing the substance in IMAX and it's one night only." That was all me. So if anyone went there, you owe me for it even happening. Okay?
Do you reckon anyone that went there is also listening to this podcast?
No, absolutely not.
No, definitely not.
But to be fair, it was like there were quite a lot of people. I didn't expect it to be that full. There's also this guy who like does the pre-film warnings before the film, so he stands like at the front with like this big microphone, and he like instead of a computer saying it, he like says, you know, don't go on your phone, and like, don't fall down the stairs because it's very steep, or like, all this stuff. And he's very funny as well. Like he makes some jokes, and like he kind of does a little stand up show before the film. So shout out to him. I forgot his name, but shout out to him if he's listening.
Shout out to that guy.
Um, yeah, that guy. Anyway, like I've already reviewed this film. Obviously, it's 5 stars again, and watching it like that makes it even better, and it makes it like it more. Although, like some of the things that were shown on the screen, seeing them so up close, it did make me a bit uncomfortable, especially when Dennis Quaid was eating shrimp. Like that is just disgusting.
I feel like I need to watch the substance, but I just don't know what to get myself into because I've seen some videos like that video got leaked on Twitter of the I don't even know what to call it. And I
Don't
look at it
say
and I
it.
go, no, I
Don't
won't. But
spoil it.
I'm not
Some
going
people
to.
haven't seen it.
I just look at it and I go, what is this? It's probably
Yeah.
good. And I've also seen pictures of Margaret Qualley in that film, and that's enticed me.
Mhm.
I'll be honest, but yeah, I should probably watch it, shouldn't I?
You should, but I also feel like you should watch it at home so that you can skip some of the scary
Oh
parts
no, I
because you're
absolutely
a
yeah,
pussy.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the biggest holdback.
Yeah,
Just that and
there
Dennis
are a
Quaid.
few like to be honest, like it's not the worst thing. It is a little bit like played up for the because horror films always do it where they try and make everyone think that it's so disgusting and gory and whatever because it's part of the marketing. But like,
I by the way, I had a thought of like one of the worst body horror things I could see.
yeah,
And I worked out it would be someone getting like their tooth sawed in half whilst it was still in their head. And I thought I never want to see that. No, I don't know.
okay,
Teeth
well
just
that's
really
not in the
weird me out.
film,
Good.
but
Well,
there is
see,
something to do with teeth. I will say.
yeah, teeth and like fingernails and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's in the film as well.
yeah. I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Like, I don't really fuck with it.
You know what? I had a dream recently where all my teeth fell out, and someone said to me that that's a stress thing. If you dream about your teeth falling out, that's a
Can
stress
I
thing.
make can I,
But it's
can I make
so
a worse story?
terrifying.
Can I tell a worse story?
Okay.
My dad's brother, when he was younger, he once pulled a tooth out and then just kept pulling teeth out.
Ew.
Yeah, gross.
Okay. Well, anyway, what I was gonna say is, like the marketing of horror films, they're always trying to make you think that it's scarier than it is. And like the at the cinema, they made it such a big thing. Like there was signs everywhere, like warning, this film, like
Warning,
is
Dennis Quaid is
is
about.
really gory, and if you want to faint during the film, then put your hand up, and someone will bring you water, or
So
they'll escort you out.
that's such a
And it's
funny
like,
phrasing. If you
uh,
want to faint, you can just put your hand up
yeah,
and just let us know you want to
before
faint,
you
and we'll
fall down, put your
facilitate.
hand
Yeah,
up. But like before I entered, the guy who was like checking tickets was like, "Oh, have you read the warning? Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've seen it before. Let me in, bitch." I'm joking. He wasn't a bitch. He was really nice, but
you're a bastard instead.
just making sure that I knew what I was getting into. But yeah, I know, and it's not even that bad. Anyway, yeah, so everyone should watch it. But if you're a pussy like Jack, you probably don't watch it at the cinema. Watch it on Mubi because it is out on Mubi now, and you get a free trial and watch loads of really good films on there. And you can probably, I mean, I think you're a pussy for skipping them. You should probably just close your eyes or something. Skipping
Just so you
scenes
can
in a
hear the
film is not,
noises.
yeah, at least listen to the noises. Because the sound here is probably some of the best I've seen in a long time. It's really good sound design in this film. Anyway,
Oscar worthy or
I mean, I think it should be, but the problem with the Oscars is that I feel like the people making nominations don't even understand what sound is in a
well,
film, and
I'm
they
happy
just go
that.
for whatever's the loudest, and it's
I
like
mean,
fuck
Zone of
off.
Interest won last year, right? Did
That was
Zone of
like
In-
the only good sound win I've seen in so long.
Yeah. So yeah, it
I
gives you some hope.
celebrated that. I mean, we watched the Oscars together, and I think we both celebrated that. That was
Yeah.
really good.
More to follow on the Oscars next year.
Yeah, it's a little teaser of possible Oscars watch party live, maybe.
Well, you just revealed the plans.
Okay, well, it
Move
might not
on,
happen.
quick. Move on,
Let's
quick.
move on. So yeah, the next film I watched, I didn't realize that I watched this after watching The Substance because there were a few days in between, but by a few days I mean like a week. So this wasn't on purpose watching The Substance in this film, but I did watch the director Coralie Fargeat's first film called Revenge. I gave it 3.5 stars, and like I said already, she is the director of The Substance as well, so I wanted to watch her first film. Because I'm pretty sure that she's only done two, which is crazy for your second film to be The Substance. But anyway, um, and you can see some similarities in the way that it's made compared to The Substance. Like the thing that she does in both films, where she will zoom into something making sound and then make the sound like crisp and loud and clear and like more kind of like I don't know, she makes it like more of the sound that you'd expect it to make, not necessarily the sound that it makes. Because obviously, someone eating, let's say, right in The Substance, Dennis Quaid is eating shrimp in a really disgusting way.
Is it like a heightened reality type thing?
It's yeah, it's like a heightened reality, making your senses like heightened or whatever, zooming into the sound. But yeah, it's really cool, and she does that in both films. So I think that's kind of like a little thing I picked up that I hope she does in her third film as well because I think it works. And in this film, the lead is played by someone who I never heard before, Matilda Lutz. I don't think she's been in any films I've seen, and I don't know what she's been in since, but she should be in more stuff because she's great. The film is basically about her character staying in this house, like remote house in a desert, with some guy who is married, and she's just kind of
Can I jump
saying,
in very quickly?
"Oh yeah, well,
She was in a film last year called Reptile. Um, Reptile was a thriller starring Alicia Silverstone, Benicio del Toro, and Justin Timberlake.
damn, okay,
And it is one of the most boring films I've ever seen.
okay." Oh
Yeah,
well,
don't
it's a
watch it.
shame.
It's terrible.
Well, it's a
Not even
shame
her,
that she has
but
to stoop that low for work these days.
Eric Bogosian was good. He was the only good part of that film.
Well, this film, she's the best part, to be honest. So she's this woman who's staying in the remote house in the desert with a guy she's seeing, basically. And then the next day, like she wakes up, and then like his associates arrive. or like his, friends or whatever, and they start staying with them, and then some stuff happens, and I don't think it's a spoiler for me to call it a revenge film because of the title is literally
I remember
revenge.
hearing about this on the Real Talk podcast about a month ago.
Oh well, okay, nice. Well, you know what? You should go listen to that then. No, I'm
No,
joking.
don't.
Don't
I mean,
please.
you can if you want, but listen to it after
No,
this.
don't. You
No,
should only be listening to this
but
podcast.
I like those guys.
I don't know who they are, to be honest. Sorry.
They're you got like Seth film reviews from TikTok,
All right, stop.
Cam
All right,
Walsh,
stop. All right, stop. No,
George,
stop giving them promos.
Tyler.
Stop it. Stop. Stop it. We're gonna lose our 2 viewers. Stop. Um,
And they're both
but
us.
anyway.
So says a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, like I said, yeah, revenge happens, and it's a really good revenge thriller. And I didn't give it higher because I feel like the payoff, like the ending, could have gone a bit further and been a bit bigger and more gory, over the top. But I guess the budget wasn't there because in the substance they completely go over the top and break every single barrier and glass ceiling, whatever. In terms of goriness, and it's so over the top that people start not liking it, which is a good thing for me because I like that. I still would recommend it. It's a it's a good watch, but yeah, it's like clearly a first film, if that makes sense. I was gonna say something else that I forgot. So let's move on. I also wanted to mention really quickly that I started watching yesterday an animated film called Look Back, and it's like 15 minutes long, and it's on Amazon Prime. And a lot of people that I know, like my friends, have rated it 4.5, five
Did you say you
stars.
started watching a 15-minute film?
A 50.
Oh, if you said 15, I was like,
No.
what do you need multiple seconds for that?
Well, anyway, I started watching it. I watched like 20 minutes, and I was just so not interested in what was going on. I stopped, and I
You don't
very,
really,
very, very rarely do that where I stop a film.
you don't really fuck with animated films, though, do you? I've noticed. Like Ponyo, you hated.
Yeah, but it's a certain type of animated film.
What does that mean?
Well, anyway,
What kind of? Oh,
anyway, so
okay.
I was 20 minutes in, and I was just not interested, so I stopped watching. But I might carry on at some point and finish it because there's only half an hour left. And like I said, it's on Amazon Prime. It's about some girl who like draws comic strips for the school newspaper, and then there's some other kid who like stays at home and doesn't come into school, and then they start drawing in the school newspaper, and then the first one gets really jealous about how good this stay at home kid is, and then yeah, that's basically the plot of the film. It's about friendship or something. I don't know.
It's got
And
an
I like
average letterbox rating of 4.4.
yeah, exactly. Which is why I'm like, I should probably finish it because like everyone loves it, and I should probably finish it at least so I can rate it and talk about it. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that I started that and didn't finish it, and yeah, that's me done for my second part.
Next up, I watched War of the Worlds, directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Tom Cruise and others. I gave it a 3 out of 5, which is annoying because it was on course about like a 4 out of 5 until the last act, I'd say. Because it kind of just rushes through the ending for no reason. Um, Effective thriller, especially like the first hour or so, is really, really good. Um, Tom Cruise is solid. It's not one of his best, not one of his worst performances. Just kind of doesn't have loads of acting to do, really. His family in it are incredibly annoying, and I hated them, and I wanted them to die the entire film. And like the ending of War of the Worlds never really, I don't know, it never really sits right with me because it feels a bit like a gimme. Yeah, I don't know. I won't spoil it, obviously, but I never really liked the ending of War of the Worlds. But anyway, next up is Blink Twice, which was Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, starring Channing Tatum. Who was the female lead? Veronica, do you remember her name?
Adria Arjona.
No, she wasn't the female lead. She was the
What?
supporting character.
Well, I don't know.
Right,
She's the only one I remember because I fell in love. Let's move
yeah,
on.
I think we all fell in
I
love with
think
her.
we all did. Oh wait, no, wait, stop! I just remembered what I was gonna say before. Could I say it now?
Yeah, I mean, you're ruining the flow, but sure.
But it just reminded me because we were talking about women, right? The director, yeah, Coralie Fayette, right? She is actually obsessed with women's asses. I'm gonna say it.
Is that
because
not
in both
all of us?
films there's a few scenes where it's literally just from behind and just the lower part of a woman walking away from the camera. And I'm sorry, like,
And
well,
yeah, if I do that, I'm labelled a pervert. But
yeah, but
she
I
does it.
mean, I don't know if she's straight, but like,
She just
listen,
loves asses.
there's a conversation to be had there because she clearly does love looking at them. That's what I wanted to say. Right, you can move on.
Three cheers for Caroline for
Fog,
J.
yeah, yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
you, that person. Anyway, it was Naomi Aki that started in Blink Twice. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. I thought the first hour or so was incredible, like absolutely incredible. It was like Saltburn, but better in terms of just how well the stylization works. I thought it was shot just superbly. The soundtrack was great. Very good directorial debut by Zoe Kravitz. Unfortunately, and Veronica, I don't know if you agree with this,
If
I
you
thought the
were involved in the
conclusion,
podcast where I reviewed it, you know that I do agree.
yeah, the conclusion is terrible. It's really bad. I think it's really poorly written as well in terms of the depth of the conversation to be had. But I mean, technologically wise and directorial wise, I think Zoe Kravitz did a very good job, and I hope she directs more things because she's clearly got sauce.
Also,
Um,
R.I.P. her relationship with Channing Tatum.
yeah, yeah,
Call me.
that's what the Criterion Closet does to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why everyone goes in on their own because it just ruins relationships. Next up is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Directed by, I can't remember if it was both the Coens or just Joel. Let me just check very quickly because I don't want to get my facts wrong because facts are important. Just Joel. It was written by Ethan, but directed by Joel Cohen. Um, Obviously a bit of a classic, but I give it a 3 out of 5 because it has the same problem that a lot of Coen brothers films have where it'd be really interesting or funny for a sequence and then it would just be so boring for the next one. So it's just very incoherent pace wise. I really wanted more from it. Like, I liked it, don't get me wrong, but I felt there was a lot more that could have been done, by having half the film be good. And the last one of this block is The Colour of Money, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Paul Newman and Tom Cruise. Paul Newman in this film is incredible. He won an Oscar for it. He deserved to win an Oscar. It's a sequel to The Hustler. It's like a legacy sequel. I'm not seeing The Hustler, but I didn't miss out much on it. Um, in my opinion, this is the 80s are the greatest, is the greatest Scorsese decade. You got After Hours, obviously Color of Money. Uh, I've not seen it, but you got Raging Bull, obviously. You've got, what else have you got? Let me have a think. King of Comedy, of course, King of Comedy. This got 4 out of 5. It also solidified Thelma Schoonmaker as my favourite ever film editor. She was anyway, I think, but this just solidifies it. Like, she was just operating on a different level in this film. And the ending was just great. I think this could have got a. Thank you. I told Veronica at some point to use the sound effects, and she did.
I used it because you talked about the editor and she seemed really cool, so I gave her a little cheer.
Yeah, honestly, like the amount of this, I don't know, like it's not the way she uses speed and tempo, and like every shot, it feels very
Not my
kinetic.
tempo.
No, not quite my tempo. She gets slapped all the time. Everything just feels very kinetic when she edits films, and there's a reason Scorsese's worked with her for his entire career. But I feel like on a different day, this could have got a 4.5 out of 5, or even maybe a 5. But I don't know. There was a few moments where it kind of bogged down, but not too bad. Um, Veronica, what is up next for your final segment of this section?
Yeah. Very well explained there. With the structure, final segment of this section. Yeah.
No clapping for that, or
No, not really.
no, didn't deserve
Um,
it.
but yeah, the final two films I have to talk about. First one is Saturday Night, which was released this year.
No
It
spoilers,
was.
please. No
I'm
spoilers,
not
please.
spoiling it. It's actually based on a real thing. I can't even
Yeah, no,
spoil
but
it.
I want to see it soon
Yeah, but
when it
I'm not
comes out.
spoiling it, right? Anyway. Yeah, well, I didn't like it, so there you go. I gave it 2.5, so mid. And the only reason it isn't lower is because the ensemble cast is really cool, except Nicholas
Gabrielle Bell
Braun.
hype. Gabriella Bell hype. And is it Rachel or Emma Sennett?
Rachel's in it.
Rachel.
Yeah, the whole cast is really cool and like,
And Cooper Hoffman, sorry, I really love the cast of
oh
this
my
film.
god, okay, like we get it. Anyway.
Shout out Cooper.
Yeah, so they're all cool except Nicholas Braun because for some reason, like, he just annoys me in everything he's in, except for Succession,
Ever since the
which
cat film, right?
yeah, ever since the cat film, I just don't like him. I'm sorry, and like because I just feel like that is him. I no offense, but it just feels like that was him, and now I just can't get it. I just can't, and he plays two characters in this film, so it's like, God, just get him off my screen. But anyway, it's basically about how, there's 90 minutes left to the live premiere of Saturday Night Live, and then everyone has to be ready. So the film is like 90 minutes. So it's like, live, as you're going through the minutes of them getting ready, it's like you get little title cards are like 10:13, 10:40, 10 blah blah blah, whatever. Which is quite cool because, like a lot of people have said, it tells you how long there's left in the film, and this film was boring. Anyway, it's kind of like this B-Tech Birdman style, following Lorne Michaels, played by Gabriel LaBelle, through getting ready, like everything ready and everyone for going live. Like Jack already mentioned, the cast is completely stacked. Like Gabriel LaBelle, Rachel Sennett, Cooper Hoffman, Dylan O'Brien, Corey Michael Smith, Lamont Morris, Willem Dafoe. I mean, just like
J.K.
so good.
Simmons, I want to say.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons, and they all do a really good job, and that carries the film to being mid, in my opinion.
Just a
Anyway,
quick question.
oh,
I saw a thing about the score, and essentially they almost did it live and like improv the score. How did the music of the film work for you, or not
I
work
can't
for you?
remember.
Well, clearly didn't work for you then. So let's move
Yeah,
on
I
from that.
clearly didn't because I can't remember it. Um, but yeah, they were really good. I don't have a problem with the cast except Nicholas Braun, which I already mentioned. And my favorite actor was Corey Michael Smith, which is honestly not what I expected, because he's not like I don't think I've watched anything he's been in, but him as Chevy Chase was really really
He
brilliant.
was he was very good in Gotham, from what I saw. I didn't watch all of Gotham, but he was good in that.
Yeah,
And yeah,
he
Chevy Chase,
also has the charisma, and he's really hot in this film.
cool.
But
Chevy Chase actually is stars in one of my favorite ever Christmas films.
National
I'm not going to say what.
Lampoon.
Yes, National
Yeah,
Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. My dad, it was my dad's
my
favorite.
parents love that film.
Yeah, and he kind of put us onto it, and we watch it every year. So good. What a
Well,
film.
anyway, Corey Michael Smith is really, really good. Um, but also Dylan O'Brien I actually thought was quite good, and I don't think he's ever shown that he's good at acting before, so shout out to him. Um, okay. I want to mention just one thing because, like, I don't know if this is how it happened in real life, but it just seemed like every female actor in this film except Rachel Sennett, who honestly didn't do that much. Probably did the least out of any of her films. But like it just made it seem like they were like not known or like just random like women. But I don't know anything about SNL, so I don't know if they actually were that small parts in SNL because they just all seemed like the only thing they did was like lust over Dylan O'Brien's character like the whole
Makes
film. There was
sense.
literally
I
nothing
would as
else.
well. That does make sense.
Yeah. Actually, Kaya Gerber was also in this film, and they underutilized her because I like her in Bottoms. Um, but anyway, yeah. So I like there wasn't much about the women cast members, and I don't know if that's realistic or not. I just wanted to mention it. Um, but yeah. Anyway, the film is like exactly what you'd expect. It's nothing that interesting. It's nothing that out there in terms of even outside the plot. There's nothing crazy. It's like a paint by numbers film by SNL. Um, or the first night anyway. I think the camera work is messy sometimes because it's trying too hard and it's trying too hard to be Birdman, which is crazy.
Do you
But
like Birdman? I can't remember. I can't
no.
remember what you're. Oh, okay. Yeah, I loved
But
it, and
like
you
this
hated
is
it.
worse than Birdman, which is
Oh
what I'm saying.
wow. Well,
Um,
I'm scared when I watch it. I'll probably like it more than you, but
you probably will.
yeah.
Like I don't know anything about SNL, and which is why it was kind of boring for me. But like, if you're either American or you like comedy, you'll
I'll be
probably
honest.
like it more, or you know any of these people because I literally don't know anyone.
I'm only watching it for the cast. That's the
Oh
only reason.
well, okay. Let's move on. I'm sure you'll like it. Maybe. we'll wait for your review and then we could talk more about it. So the next film I watched was last night. I watched The Wild Robot, which is an animated film. And guess what, Jack? I gave it 4 stars. 4 stars.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Wow, it's an outlier.
exactly. Yeah, I watched it yesterday, like I said, and I really hope it wins Best Animated Film at the Oscars because it's so good. I could not believe that it was making me cry like 3 times. And I don't know if it's because I was tired watching it at midnight or
No,
if I
you just got to
just.
hit in the feels. Don't have to make the excuse of you're
Yeah,
tired.
but
You just got to hit in the feels. That's fine.
I honestly was shocked that I started crying because I didn't realize how invested I was in the film, and I didn't expect to start crying. Like it's just such a it's nothing like I don't know, like it's an animated film about a fucking robot that gets stranded on an island and then it starts looking after a baby goose. Like I don't know. I just didn't expect to cry, okay? But it made me cry or whatever. The voice actors here again like stacked. Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal, Bill Nye, Matt Berry, who plays a beaver, or something like that.
Kit Connor, right? He's also in it. I
Yeah,
think
Kit
he's
Connor.
in that
I
Heartstopper.
don't know. I haven't watched it.
Neither have I. I'm just trying
I'm
to
not gonna
look.
watch it.
I'm trying to look enlightened.
Oh, the viewers. Okay, listeners. But I do really recommend it. I know that a few of our friends have watched it already and also really liked it. It's just a very cute, heartwarming animated film, and I'm not like a massive fan of films like this, but it is really good, and it's a lot of it is about parenthood and motherhood as well, and what it means to love or whatever. Anyway, that's my film's done, but I have big news. I have big Liverpool news actually. We're going back to our football roots here. Because guess what has been revealed? It has been revealed officially that Chapel Roan is a Liverpool fan. She was
Woo!
pictured wearing a vintage Liverpool kit. So come on the podcast, maybe.
Have you got any puns lined up about Chaperone in Liverpool, or have you not delivered any?
What does that even mean?
I've got one. I've got one.
Okay, yeah, go on then.
I saw it on Twitter. It's not mine. Someone tweeted, "Good luck, Babel."
Okay. I saw someone say. Actually, I can't remember what I saw someone say. Someone said something about Cody Gakpo, so make one up with Cody Gakpo if you want to
Red
at home.
wine, Shibos Nova.
Oh god.
Well, yeah, big Chaperone guy.
Well, Pink Pony Club's my favourite. But
I'm actually, yeah, I think, yeah, Red Wine Supernova is my favorite Chaperone song.
that is a good song. I need to
It's a
get the
very good song.
vinyl of that. Anyway, speaking of Chaperone, she is also gonna be at Primavera Barcelona. She's on the lineup. I will be there next year,
I've
and
got
the
the
lineup
pun.
is really good. All right, go
I've
on
got
then.
the pun. Hot to Gakpo.
Oh, nice. Pink Pony Club.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
any more for any more?
No. So yeah, Primavera Barcelona lineup got released as well. Bit of music news because we've been dabbling in that since the Brat review, of course. And speaking of Brat, Charlie XCX will be there. Sabrina Carpenter, Denzel Curry, Fontaines DC, LCD Sound System, Magdalena Bay, FKA Twigs, and more.
Speaking of
And
Brat, um,
oh no,
the Apple remix is better than the original.
I can't remember what the Apple remix is to be honest. I don't think I've
It's
listened
good.
to it because I don't really
Wow,
like Apple. But
that's fine. Yeah, the remix is better. So
hot
what more do you want?
take, hot take Hancock back again with
Yeah,
music.
no, that segment's dead. Yeah,
Oh.
it's deceased.
Well, I just want to say a little story about actually this lineup because I was at work and the Primavera Twitter account tweeted that there's another big artist being announced, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be Tyler the Creator or Lady Gaga or someone massive." And I was refreshing the page at work for so long; it was like over an hour and a half of them between them saying that they're gonna announce someone and then actually announcing someone, and it turned out to be Central C.
That's horrific. That's
And I was
absolutely horrific.
so upset. No one cares about Central C. Who actually cares? No one. If he's listening, no one cares.
You are
Alright.
saying this whilst bringing them up on the podcast, though, and you seem very irate.
Because no one cares about him. I wanted someone else. I wanted Tyler the Creator or Lady Gaga. What is this? Like, he's no one compared to them. Anyway. Yeah. Uh, a little segue into what Jack's me talking about soon. But I did go to Leeds on the weekend, and I watched Kneecap perform. And I've watched the film. I've talked about it before, and it was really good. They did some crowd surfing. Mowgli about took his shirt off. The Guinness was like 4.80 a pint. I bought a Kneecap hat, which is really cool. And they were amazing live. I went with some friends, and they just have so much personality and charisma. I love them, and I think when you watch the film, you get exactly a taste of what they're like, and they are like that in person. I mean, I've met them at the Q&A of the film. I've seen them live, and that is just who they are. Like, they're great guys. I really do like them, and they're really good performers. I also want to mention really quickly that I got a vinyl while I was there of the Challenger soundtrack from a shop called Crash Records in Leeds. Shout out! It came with a sticker and a card of Josh O'Connor as Patrick Zweig, which was pretty cool. So that's a mini physical media update within my story about seeing Kneecap. And speaking of Kneecap, Jack,
Yes. So I finally saw Kneecap. I wanted to see it for a while and finally got around to it. I'm not like a Kneecap super fan, but I like their music. I need to listen to more of it, but I like what I've heard so far. Um, I love the messaging, you know, in terms of the unification of Ireland and the power of language and why the Irish language should be protected. I think that's all great. Also, fuck Margaret Thatcher, um, and fuck MI5. Anyway,
and Free Palestine.
absolutely free Palestine. That's yeah, not even up for debate. Um, I gave this film a 4.5 out of 5. Um, I thought it was so energetic, so creative, so funny. I thought the editing was incredible. Like, so there were some shots as well that were just so stupidly good, and I didn't expect to see it in this film. Like they used mirrors quite well, and I think there might be a split diopter shot there at one point, but I'm not too sure. Um, what DJ Provi, his acting was great. If you told me that was just someone acting as him, I would have been like, yeah, fair. But I think as a heavily stylized, heavily fictionalized, I'll add as well, biopic, it works really well. Michael Fassbender is also pretty decent in this film. My only real complaint is the third act. Um, it was a bit too overly dramatized, a bit too Hollywoody, um, which it didn't really work for me. I thought, yeah, a bit unnecessary, but I get why they kind of had to do it. Makes sense. So yeah, highly recommend Kneecap.
It is like surprisingly technically a really good film, and it actually does a lot of things that are very kind of out there with how it shows or shoots certain scenes, and I think that's really unexpected if you just think it's a music biopic.
There's also a special mention to Michael Fassbender. I've said this in my review. He at the end he did the after sun pose in the nightclub. It was quite funny. Um, Next up, second to last. Well, actually, I saw Kneecap last, but anyway, I finally watched Wes Anderson's Bottle Rocket. Now, this is the only Wes Anderson film I hadn't seen until now, and I have now officially, after years, completed Wes Anderson's filmography. The only two directors I can say that about. No, two more actually. I've done it for three, and that's Christopher Nolan, Wes Anderson, and Paul Thomas Anderson. Um, this is a really lovely debut. It's really funny. The writing is really sharp because Owen Wilson co-wrote it, I believe, and Owen Wilson is a really, really good writer, in my opinion. Um, Thought the two lead performances from Luke and Owen Wilson were really charming. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, and yeah, well done, Wes, well done, Luke, well done, Owen. As a little reward or a little bonus, I am going to read out my complete Wes Anderson ranking very quickly. At 15th on 3 stars is Moonrise Kingdom. At 14th on 3 stars is The French Dispatch. That's God, yeah, it's great. The next three are all shorts, all on 3.5, and that's in this order: Poison, The Swan, and The Ratcatcher. Next up on 3.5 is Bottle Rocket, and that's a 10th. Now at ninth on 4 stars is The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. On eighth, 4 stars is The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, which is very underrated. At seventh, on 4 stars, is Isle of Dogs. At sixth, on 4 stars, is Rushmore. Into the top 5 now. On 4.5 out of 5 is The Darjeeling Limited. Fourth, on 4.5, will rise to 5 stars soon, is The Royal Tenenbaums. Now, my top 3 are all on 5 stars. In third place is. Have you got a drum roll, please? The Grand Budapest Hotel. No, you clap. Yeah. And in second, drum roll, please. Destroyed City, which means in number 1 on 5 stars is the greatest animated film of all time. It is the fantastic Mr. Fox. Well done, boys. Well done. Wow, the crowd really clapped, don't they? Yeah, that's my complete Wes Anderson ranking until his next film comes out, The Phoenician Scheme. And for my last film I want to talk about today, I'm going to leave you lot on a 5-star film. 5 stars. Wow. It is The New World, directed by Terrence Malick, who I love. I think Terrence Malick is one of the best directors of all time because he's got 3 absolute masterpieces I've seen so far. I've not seen all of the films. I think I'm maybe missing 4. And he's got like an absolute stinker in Night of Cups and just a decent film and song to song. But like the level of creativity and emotion he can conjure up and beauty is just second to none. And this is his best film to date. I always thought that The Thin Red Line would never be topped, but it has been topped. This is a story about John Smith and Pocahontas in the early 1600s in Virginia. It, as I said, yeah, it conjures up emotions inside me that I don't know how to describe. It's just raw feeling. It's so loving, so much imagination, some really dark elements as well. But Colin Farrell is great. So is Christian Bale. But the best performance is by, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, is Corianka Kilcher, who plays Pocahontas. Her performance, bear in mind for a lot of the film, she can't speak English. So she has to. There's so much restraint shown from Malick in terms of there's an entire romance told without the use of the English language for a lot of the film. She's just incredible. So yeah, no complaints about The New World. Go watch it. It's not for everyone. I think Veronica would dislike it because it's very slow and deliberate. But if you like Malick films, go watch this because it's just simply incredible. Anyway, that's the end of the.
Pause. I have
Go on.
breaking news. We mentioned the
Whoa.
Oscars earlier. I have
Oh, I've
breaking
got this on
news.
my news segment.
I have breaking news. Conan O'Brien is hosting the Oscars.
Clap, please. That's good news. Clap.
Okay.
No more of that for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
We'll go right into film news and then we'll do a physical media update because you've kind of ruined my flow there. The rest of film news. Scorsese fucking loves the film I Saw the TV Glow.
Yeah, I've
David
watched
Lynch.
it.
Neither have I. David Lynch.
You haven't.
Oh no, I haven't. No.
Fraud.
You have. Yeah. Anyway, David Lynch unfortunately now requires oxygen to walk due to his emphysema, which is very sad actually. Actually, just tragic. Spike Lee is eyeing a 2025 release date for Highest to Lowest, starring Denzel Washington, and Sophie Turner is to star in Tomb Raider. That's
probably going to be rubbish.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the worst films of all time. Or TV shows, don't know what it is. And yeah, obviously the Conan news, which is great because Jimmy Kimmel is just horrific.
Stay tuned for that live stream.
Absolutely, if it happens, if we're still alive. But what have you got for the physical media update? Because I'm told that it is, I'd argue, potentially the biggest one yet.
It is. It is absolutely massive because there was a Criterion sale in the UK at HMV. 40% off. 40% off every single Criterion. So I had to buy some. It's an investment, obviously, because I haven't seen any of them, and I will be watching them soon and reviewing them.
That's a brave move.
Well, yeah, but if I don't like one, I could just sell it.
Yeah, but it does lose its value now that you've opened it.
Well, who cares?
Well, we can just have like a virtual collection for the podcast of our Criterions.
Well, anyway, but the first film I'm going to mention is not a Criterion Collection film. It's the Blu-ray that I pre-ordered a long time ago of Kinds of Kindness, the Yorgos film that came out this year. There's a HMV exclusive Blu-ray that includes a poster, and I'm not going to open it because I don't have anywhere to put posters yet because I don't live on my own. But at some point, I will live on my own and I'll have my own place and I'll put all my posters up because I have a lot. Anyway, yeah, Kinds of Kindness. Everyone knows I love it. It's very rewatchable, I think, especially because it's three separate stories. You can just watch one of them and then watch another one or whatever. So I really needed it on physical, and I have it. Next thing, so these are my criterions now. There's five of them. The first one is an absolute classic, 12 Angry Men, that I haven't seen, but I will be seeing, obviously. Blu-ray, Criterion. It looks really nice. And I basically trying to pick films that I have seen are rated really highly by a majority of people, so that there's a big chance I will like them at least.
You're
And
just a
I feel like,
conformist.
yeah, something that's such a classic and loved by so many people like 12 Angry Men is probably going to be good, and I probably will like it. Next one I got is Blowout, Brian De Palma film, 4K UHD plus Blu-ray, starring John Travolta and Nancy Allen.
I will be
Um,
watching that over the next week.
yeah, and it looks really good, and I feel like I need to watch more John Travolta. Except the only one I watched, which was Pulp Fiction, I didn't like. So let's hope he brings me back here. There's also a director interview in this Criterion, which is conducted by Noah Baumbach, which is quite interesting. I might
Oh
watch
my
that.
god,
Yeah,
Noah Baumbach hype. I've seen a lot of Noah Baumbach films
yeah,
actually.
you love
There's a
him.
lot of mid, but like there's some absolute like all time like Marriage Story, The Mayoral Stories, Squid and the Whale.
Yeah,
Yeah, fucking love Noah Baumbach.
and the covers of Criterion's are just so cool. Like the Blowout cover is really cool. Anyway, next one, and Jack will absolutely love the fact that I've got this, but it is the Criterion of After Hours by Martin Scorsese. 4K
Oh,
UHD and
I really want
Blu-ray,
to buy that.
and I've
You
got
not
it in
seen
my
After Hours, have you?
hand, and I haven't seen it. So, but
Can you
obviously I
please
got it
watch it
because I know
soon?
that you love it, and I would probably love it from what you said. So,
Didn't one of our friends watch it recently? Jacob potentially watched it. Is that Jacob or Connor?
one
He
of
really
them,
liked it. They
yeah.
really liked
So
it.
I trust these people's opinions, which is why I know I'll probably like it. So After Hours, yep, got that one. And the next one is okay. I'm not gonna lie, I got this because the packaging is probably one of my favorite of any Criterion. Is Dazed and Confused. I don't know if you've seen the
I
packaging
have.
of
That's
this.
it's. I'm not seeing packaging notes, but it's my least favorite Linklater film. But I've got it at 3.5 out of 5. It's a good film.
Yeah,
Um.
and I feel
So
like
fun fact.
from what you said,
Fun
I will
fact.
like it more than you, to be honest.
Yeah. Little fun fact about Days and Confused. It is the first time Matthew McConaughey says, "All right, all right, all right."
Yeah, well, that's a great fact. But
Fun fact.
um, you should Google the Criterion packaging because it's really cool. It has
Should
a
I do it? Should I
slip
do it now? Watch the
cover.
film.
You should do it. It has a slip cover and it's big and I love it. It's really cool.
Oh, that's really. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, the
That's really
design
nice.
of it is very cool.
Bit
Um,
psychedelic.
and also I like Richard Linklater, so highly likely that I'll like
We
the
are
film.
Richard Linklater stands in this
Absolutely,
podcast.
and I've met him.
Him
Just
and
saying.
Thomas Frank.
Yeah, exactly. The two faces of the FCA. The last Criterion I got because I watched Emma Stone's top four video letterbox TikTok thing, and she said this is one of her favorite films, and it's City Lights by Charles Chaplin.
Again, but me, do you call him Charles?
It says Charles on the
It's
packaging.
Charlie Chaplin.
It says Charles on the packaging,
I don't give a shit. No one calls
but
him
it's on the
Charles.
packaging. I'm calling
Only
him
his mother
Charles.
calls him Charles.
I'm calling him Charles, but anyway, I will probably like it because Emma Stone liked it, and I like Emma Stone. But I also, I like films like this. I think Hundreds of Beavers, which came out this year, is kind of a similar style to Charles Chaplin films. So,
I hate you. I hate you so much.
uh, I'll
Can I
probably
ask
like
a
this one,
question?
and it's not too long, so I feel like it's good for rewatchability, and
Yeah,
it's a Charles Chaplin film, so it probably will be rewatchable.
stop saying Charles.
Uh,
How does it feel to
so
be before we do
yes,
Christmas market chat? How's it feel to be a Criterion Collection owner?
I love it. I love them all. I just love the feeling of the packaging. I don't know, like everything about them is just so cool.
Was it six you brought?
5.
Five.
Listen, I
So
would have got
yeah,
more, but money.
I'm on three. So I'm hoping that for birthday and Christmas, which is 16th of December and 25th of December, I
Yeah,
might
just in
have
case someone
some.
wants to sponsor something
My
for Christmas,
sponsor
maybe
my birthday.
someone.
Sponsor my
Just
birthday.
someone should sponsor Jack's birthday. Be like
Yeah, I'm not
Jack
doing
Hancock's
anything.
birthday is
Just
sponsored by steak.
no,
Okay, not
not steak,
steak.
not steak.
HMV.
Who's not? Yeah, yeah.
We love
Hancock's
HMV.
birthday, powered by HMV. Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be
we
great.
need it.
But no, I'm hoping to go above you in the Criterion ranking by that point.
Whoa,
It's competitive. It's
whoa.
competitive.
But yeah, that's my physical media update, and obviously the Challenges vinyl that I have now, which is very cool because Challenges soundtrack is great. It's my first film soundtrack vinyl, actually.
Yeah, mine was La La Land. But I
Yeah, I
believe
want La
before we
La
go,
Land.
you want to talk about
Yeah, I
Christmas
do want to talk
markets.
about it because I've seen loads of videos of people going to Christmas markets and rating the food and everything, but it's like the beginning of November, and I wanted to ask you if you think it's too early to be going to Christmas markets and like turning on Christmas lights in the city and stuff. I feel like it's a bit too early. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, for me it's too early. I like Christmas markets, but I think they're really overrated. Last
I
year I
agree.
went to two or three. My favorite Christmas market is Petersfield Christmas Market, about 20 minutes outside of Portsmouth. Really good. But last year I went to Winchester Christmas Market, which was really good, and I went to Port Solent Christmas Market, which was shit. I went to both of those with my ex. Yeah, don't go to Port
Oh,
Solent Christmas Market. It's too busy. There's too many people. There's not enough stuff. Don't recommend that. But
and it makes
yeah,
you break up
Winchester.
after.
I mean, it took about 9 months, but maybe that's where it started. That's where 10 months, I guess, but that's where it started. Anyway, um, but no,
Yeah,
I
I
like I
just want
like
to
Christmas
say
markets. I like Christmas markets.
that I like them, but it's just overpriced, isn't it? It just is.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
also, actually, I don't really buy food at them. Like the only thing I do is like I go to South Bank sometimes,
Sorry, you've just triggered a
and
memory. You've just triggered
I
a
just get
memory.
mulled wine and I just stand there looking at the Thames.
Yeah, I'm more of a mulled cider person.
Oh,
Yeah, don't like wine. Anyway,
mulled
I
wine's
remember
really
I was
good.
at Winchester Christmas Market last year. Obviously got quite a bit of food because you want to. I had one of the worst hot dogs in my entire life. It was, they labeled it as like traditional German Bratwurst with like caramelized onions and stuff. No, I thought, oh my God, yes. Um, it was like one of those like part baked long rolls from like Lidl, undercooked for a start. A sausage with no color on it. Um, Loads of onions that were like halfway between cooked and raw and just like translucent and dotted around. It was just horrific. Um, which is why Polish sausages are far superior to German
True.
sausages. They're just incredible. Also, can I get your opinion on one Christmas item?
Mhm.
Do you know what a gonk is?
No,
Gonks are like, I mean, A, it sounds like a slur. Um, they're like little Christmas like elf goblin things,
I have no
and
idea what you're talking about.
yeah, I mean, I'd yeah, she was a big fan of gonks, but maybe that was what caused the breakup, which is our difference on gonks because I hated gonks. Um,
You know
but
what we
yeah,
should
yeah,
do? We should do a
go
Christmas
on.
food ranking tier list before Christmas.
Should we do Christmas food and Christmas films? We'll do like a bumper Christmas
Yeah.
episode.
Oh yeah, we definitely will do a bumper Christmas episode.
But we're not doing it until December because November is too early for this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if you go to
Although I
Christmas
was
markets,
listening, I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday I was listening to Last Christmas.
that's that's okay. I'm allowing that. I'm allowing
Phew.
music, but I'm not
Okay.
allowing. Yeah, if you're at a Christmas market at the moment, listen to this. Turn around and leave. You're doing
Yeah.
yourself a disservice because you're blowing your load too early,
Mhm.
and then all the Christmas fun will be gone. But any final remarks on Christmas markets or um, Irish hip hop bands before we leave?
No, I just really like mulled wine. To be honest, it's my
Ah,
favorite thing
we'll
at
leave you.
Christmas.
We'll leave you on that. And that
Oh,
officially
also, have
takes.
you ever had a
Oh,
snowball?
No, I don't like
Like the
coconut.
drink?
Has it got coconut in it?
No?
Has it got egg in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like egg.
Oh, it's really good.
Okay,
Anyway,
well,
we should an
good stuff.
alcohol tier list.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, we'll do films, alcohol, and food, and
Yeah,
that'll
perfect.
be it. Cool. And that officially takes up to the end of another episode, with a different intro because it was way better. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to go back to last week's episode in which we reviewed countless films and recommended loads. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. It's at Floodlights Pod. My letterbox, I can never remember the handle, which I'm going to do. I'm very slowly just get up. It's J Hancock 46. Veronica is, I believe, Slowed Panda.
Yeah, and I've seen some people following us both on Letterboxd, and I think it's really cute. So
Yeah,
shout
that's
out.
brilliant. Yeah, like my reviews as well because there's no point you following me if you're not going to give me likes. Um, that's a joke, is it? I don't know. Anyway, Veronica, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Can you let the people know how they can get in contact with us? Not that I actually look at the email.
Yeah, well, all we get on email is like people trying to sell us stuff. But anyway, email is floodlightpod@gmail.com. Floodlightpod@gmail.com. Send us sponsorships, money, HMV gift cards, positive comments, love, maybe some fan
Words
art.
of affirmation.
I don't know.
Don't do fan art. That'd be quite difficult because they don't know what you look like. So
Yeah.
that'll be if they nailed that, I'd be very confused.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that would be kind of
Impressive though.
scary.
Actually, yeah, no. If you don't know what we look like, can you draw pictures of us based on what you
Oh
think we look
no,
like?
don't. No one do that. No
No
one
one's
should do
listening
that.
to this,
Yeah,
so
true. No
no.
one's gonna do it anyway.
It's
Let's just make
yeah.
something up.
Anyway, anyway, we'll be
Draw a
back
little
next week.
cat and email it to me.
Yeah, we'll be back next week, or maybe we won't. Maybe it'll be 2 weeks. Who knows? We'll be back at some point before Christmas. Until then, keep watching and keep consuming, and adios.